Hello friends. Let's have a small discussion on Kautilya's theory of kingship. Chanakya, also known as Kautilya or Vishnugupta, who flourished around 300 BCE, was a statesman and philosopher. He was born into a Brahmin family and received his education at Taxila. He had a very good knowledge in medicine and astronomy. He became a counselor, advisor and prime minister of Chandragupta Maurya, who is the founder of Mauryan Empire. He was instrumental in helping Chandragupta to overthrow the powerful Nanda dynasty at Pataliputra, in the Magadha region. He was compared by many to Italian statesman and writer Niccolò Machiavelli and by others to Aristotle and Plato. All unanimously agree one thing in common, that it was because of Chanakya or Kautilya that the Mauryan Empire under Chandragupta and later under Ashoka became a model of efficient government. Arthashastra is a classical work on administrative theory and practice written by Kautilya. It was written around 325 BCE and contains 15 parts, 180 divisions, 150 chapters, 6,000 slokas. It comes under the category of Dandashastra, which means science of punishment. Major issue discussed in Arthashastra is statecraft. Therefore, Kautilya defines statecraft as Arthashastra. Arth means material well-being. To Kautilya, it is the duty of king to ensure material well-being of its people. In India, various experiments were made regarding the system of government. And in all these, king is the most important person and the chief executive of the government. The importance of king is realized as early as Vedas. In Aitreya Brahman that depicts the battle between Devas and Asuras. The cause of defeat of Devas is considered due to lack of a strong king. According to Mahabharata, it is irreligious to inhabit a kingless country. Similarly, Shanti Parva mentions nothing is more conducive to sin than a kingdom without a ruler. According to Manu, in the absence of a king, the logic of fish becomes the order of the day. Therefore, the main focus of Kautilya is the king. The powers of the king is justified because they lead to the good of the state. The king cannot run the state on his own alone. Hence, certain other elements called prakritis are needed. The 7 essential limbs of state. That is saptanga theory of kingship put forward by Kautilya. This comprises of Swamin, which means ruler, Amatya, which means minister, Janpada, a very familiar term that means territory with people settled on it, Durga, the fortified capital, a symbol of offensive and defensive capacity of the state. Kosh means the treasury. Dand means army. Mitra, the ally. These 7 are very much interrelated. The entire Arthashastra is addressed to the king, the sole ruler of the state. Kautilya was of the opinion that the people were oppressors by the law of fishes or Matsyayana, according to which the bigger fish swallows the smaller one. At this point of time, God made the king the first of its kind and called him Manu. Kautilya's theory of government includes 3 aspects: the king, the officials, and the mechanism of administration. King is the most important among this, must have certain qualities. 1. He must belong to a high family. 2. He must possess valor and dignity. 3. He must be truthful and highly enthusiastic and should not be addicted to procrastination. 4. He must have good discipline. 5. Should have sharp intellect and trained in all kinds of arts. 6. He should be capable of taking remedial measures against danger. 7. He must possess foresight and ready to avail himself of opportunities. Kautilya gave the highest position to the king. He says that the king should be dynamic, so that his subject also becomes dynamic. He enjoins that the king must provide for the aged, orphans, the helpless, and the afflicted. He is also required to construct dams, rivers, roads, to maintain forests, pilgrimage center, etc. He also describes the hectic schedule of the king with roughly 4.5 hours of sleep, and the rest of the time is almost entirely involved in running the kingdom. He says there is general tendency among officials to practice bribery and corruption that weakens the state. Against this he also makes necessary solutions like the awareness of kings about his motives and activities of his ministers. He must not consult more than 2 ministers, etc. Kautilya was also concerned about the corruption of not only these officials but also the public. King is enjoined to punish 13 types of criminals after ascertaining their activities with the help of spies. All the criminals are tried by special tribunals according to a fixed procedure. A common practice, it seems, in the Mauryan Empire. That is all about in this brief discussion on the Kautilya's theory of kingship in Arthashastra. Thank you.